My video today is going to be on my experience on Accutane. I never had acne growing up. I never had it in high school, never had it when I was a little girl. I didn't start getting acne until I was 22, 23. And I didn't have what you would call regular acne. It was cystic acne where I would get these lumps right under my skin, on my jawline, on my cheekbone, and they didn't have heads. So it was very painful, and it started to discolor my skin, where I had purple spots wherever I had a lump, and it really hurt. I had trouble sleeping at night since I sleep on my side. I had to learn to start sleeping on my back because I couldn't lay my head on the pillow properly because I had so much pain on the bottom, my lower jaw, because of the acne. I tried everything. I tried Proactive. I tried Neutrogena, Clean and Clear. I tried several prescription medicines with names that I can't even begin to pronounce. I went to several doctors, and the medication would help, but the moment I'd stop using it, it'd come back. And even when I was on the medication, my acne was never really gone. So I always had these lumps on my face. So I used layers of makeup to help cover it up every day. I wouldn't leave the house without makeup. I wouldn't even go to the beach without makeup because the lumps were so big that it created such a huge discoloration on my skin that it was very noticeable because I have fair skin. And if I were to sweat or I were to get agitated, any area that was affected would flare up immediately. I had acne on my back. My back was not as bad as my face. However, my skin did change drastically. My skin got extremely oily, so oily to the point that I would get puddles of grease on the crease of my nose. You couldn't see it from a mile away. Blotting papers, people use blotting papers to help, absorb the oil. No, I had to use napkins. That's how bad it was. Finally, I went to Mount Sinai to the Skin and Laser Institute. My doctor's Annabelle, by the way. And she said, hey, we're going to try Accutane. So I did my research. I did my homework. The reason I'm making this video is because the more information people have about this medication, the better. And especially people who struggle with acne. I can honestly say I do not have one bad thing to say about Accutane. It was the best decision I ever made, and I was on it for 7 months. I did all the blood work every month. I did a psychological test every month, and I was fine. I never suffered, suicidal thoughts or uncontrollable mood swings. I think what's important is to stay honest with yourself at all times, because when you start to lie to yourself and you start to lie to your doctor, I think that's where lines get crossed and blurred. The only thing I will tell you, I noticed a drastic change in my skin from the first month I started using it. Like I said, I had extremely oily skin. So within the first month, I saw that the oil was starting to not appear as much anymore because Accutane gives you dry skin. I didn't suffer such dry skin because I'm assuming that my face and my skin was so oily. Even my hair. I had to wash my hair every day because it looked like I hadn't washed my hair in a week of how oily it was. So to me, dry skin didn't really affect me. The only thing I will say, it did give me major chapped lips. I already have chapped, problems with having to constantly moisturize my lips because I have big lips. So when I went on Accutane, I did suffer, with really bad chapped lips. But what helped me was Eurocin, I think that's how you pronounce it, and EOS, the little lip balms. I wore it all the time throughout the day. I always had it with me, and I always put it on, and it was great. My hands were dry, so I did always carry lots of moisturizing cream in my purse. The only thing I did notice when it came to how you felt and your mood, I could not watch sad, tragic movies or put myself in a really, really, hostile environment. For example, I couldn't watch like that movie Tsunami. That was a great movie, but it was very tragic. I was bawling the entire time. The movie was over and I was still crying. So that's the only thing I did notice. I was honest with my doctor and I did tell her, this is what I'm experiencing. And I never lied to her, ever. Not one question, okay? I never had trouble sleeping. That's not a symptom that I ever got. However, I will tell you that once she took me off the medication, I started to lose some hair. I started to shed hair, but my hair grew back, and it's just a withdrawal symptom from being on the medication for such a long period of time. But my hair grew back. My hair's back to normal. I mean, I wasn't like anything noticeable. Like I wasn't balding, but I did notice that I was shedding more than usual. Now let's talk about my skin. When I was on Accutane, I felt like it was working from the moment I started taking it. My skin started to clear out completely. It wasn't as oily. It was towards the end of that process and that treatment, my skin was flawless. The pigment of my skin, especially on my jawline, like I said, and in my cheekbones here, how I had a lot of discoloration because of my pimples, went back to normal with the help of the night treatment that I mentioned in my previous video from Bare Minerals to help even out my skin tone. Now, after the treatment, it's been, I'm going to say about a year now that I've been off the medication, and I will tell you that I don't get pimples, I don't get blackheads, nothing. You know how people have these blackheads around their nose that you can never get out because they're so deep and tiny? Accutane, it took that all out. I have no blackheads around my nose, no blackheads in this area of my skin. Everything. I completely cleared out my skin. And I never got acne back. And also, my skin never went back to being as oily as it used to be. Now, I have normal skin, which is the skin that I had all my life before. I don't know what happened to my body between the ages of 22 and 23. I had normal skin, which was, normal, and then just a little bit oily on the T-zone. My Accutane, it's like I went right back to where I was. I went back to my normal skin, how I had it all my life. I don't have acne on my back. I don't have acne anywhere in my body. I don't get acne, period. However, I do take care of my skin. So there were products that when I did have acne, I couldn't wear. I couldn't wear MAC. I couldn't wear drugstore makeup. It would make me break out instantly. I have sensitive skin. Bare Minerals was the only makeup that my skin would tolerate. And that's even after I finished Accutane, that's the only thing that I use. Also, I couldn't get sun while I was on that treatment. I was very sensitive to sun. It almost felt like if the sun was hitting you, you were out for like, let's say I have a long commute from my job to my house. It's an hour. I had to wear a sweater. where it would cover my chest and it would cover my arms, because I'll always my sunglasses and the visor down, because literally it feels like your skin is on fire. Your skin gets really red everywhere. Red, and it's almost like if you have a sunburn. When you're on that treatment, they let you know that you can't get sun, but I can't stop working. So my doctor recommended that I wear a sweater. Try to cover up, you know what I mean? Just turn on the air a little bit higher. But yes, if I was out in the sun, I did feel like I was gonna literally go, like, light up in flames. Like a vampire. But you can't go to the beach, obviously. But the moment that I got off of it, everything's fine. I can go out to the beach, go to the pool, I can tan, I can do whatever. Another reason why I stuck with Bare Minerals is because Bare Minerals has SPF in their makeup, and they have a chemical that is called titanium dioxide, and it is what protects your skin from UV rays. Okay, that's why when you go out and you buy sunscreen, your dermatologist will tell you to look in the back for the main ingredient. That has to be one of the ingredients, because that is what truly protects you from the UV rays. Anything else, it's not doing anything. So not only did I feel safe wearing that makeup and I felt comfortable, but I knew it was protecting me from the sun. It wasn't gonna give me like sunspots or anything like that you're prone to get, which is why they tell you that when you're on Accutane, don't go into the sun. I will have to say that 9 out of 10 people who use Accutane never get acne again. Okay? I have not gotten acne ever again. Not even when I get my period or I'm PMSing, or sometimes they will come like 2 weeks before you get your period. You start to break out. Nothing. I did have to use 2 forms of contraceptive, and I did have to sign all the paperwork, but I knew what I was getting myself into, and I was willing to sacrifice whatever I needed to really go back to the way my skin was, you know. However, I never lied, and I stayed very honest. The moment that I felt that, you know, if I were to have ever felt like I can't handle this, the dosage is too high, you know, I would have immediately told my doctor. Because even though I didn't want to have acne and that sucked, I'm not willing to lose my life over it or risk my health. I never had problems with going to the bathroom, which some people who are on Accutane, that's like a symptom. I never had any of those problems, but like I said, if I ever noticed a change, I immediately called my doctor. However, the way that the treatment was handled by my doctor with me was that the dosage was slowly increased month by month. Every time that it went, they didn't always increase my dosage. Sometimes I spent 2 months on using the same dosage. So, you know, my doctor would come and look at me and, you know, ask me all the questions. I'd answer honestly. And then she would decide, okay, well, are we going to up the dosage, or are we going to stay where we're at? So everyone's skin is different. So some people may need more. Some people may need less. A lot of people are afraid that if they start to experience any problems, that their doctor's going to take them off Accutane. And the way that my doctor explained it to me, that's not how it works. If you're not honest with your doctor and you're experiencing problems and you don't say them and you let it continue, then you're going to get sick and you might have caused permanent damage to your body. Doesn't necessarily mean they're going to take you completely off the medication, but they might lower your dosage because maybe your body hasn't adjusted yet. Or maybe your body can't handle such a high dosage. You know, everyone's different. Everybody's different. So, you know, your doctor will work with you. Like I said, I had a positive experience, and I'm a big sweater. I sweat a lot, and I sweat very easily. So, hence why I don't like working out at the gym. I work out at home because I sweat like an animal. But, nothing. I don't break out. I sweat a lot when I work out, and nothing. I take a shower, and everything's fine. When I had acne, when I would start sweating, it was like, oh, she's sweating, let's just, more pimples will come out, you know? So it was pretty traumatic. I mean, I wasn't ashamed of going out on the street, but I was very conscious of what people were looking at and why I wore makeup before leaving the house. Now, I can leave the house without makeup and I don't care. You know, I mean, I don't have the perfect skin. I don't have flawless skin, but I have great skin and I'm happy with the way that I look. However, I love makeup. I love doing makeup on other people, so that's why I wear makeup, because I think it's fun. One of the perks of being a girl. Now, another thing I would like to share with you. After my Accutane treatment, since I did have acne for a couple of years before I was introduced to this treatment, I had cystic acne, which means that it's a pimple that grows inside your skin, not outside of it. So there's no head. So it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, but you can't pop it because it has no release. So it starts to, if you ever do pop it, it starts to create like small dents in your skin because literally there's like a hole, you know what I mean? So I can say that when I finish the treatment, I do have small dents in my skin. I don't think that my camera is such high definition that you can see, but like if I smile, you can see that I have some sort of indentations, but it's not super noticeable. However, if you do have big noticeable like dents in your face, which is what I like to call it, talk to your dermatologist, because they have treatments that will help you with that. I was offered the treatment, I think it's dermabrasion, and I didn't do it only because, like I said, I'm happy with the way that I look. I mean, I have dents, but it's not anything, you know, noticeable, you know, so I didn't think it was worth spending the money or, you know, or going through the hassle of doing the dermabrasion than if I didn't really need it. And my doctor felt as well that I had great skin and I had an indentation here or there, but they were very small and they weren't noticeable, so it was really up to me. But if you do have that issue, your dermatologist should be able to work with you and help you with that. And it really does take it away. They showed me before and after pictures of some patients in the office who had done it, and they looked great. So that is my experience on Accutane, and of course, please remember that before I did do the treatment, I did my homework and I researched and I weighed my pros and cons. I was very aware of what the symptoms were, and I was watching out for them from the first month I started that treatment to the last month I finished. If I felt like I was feeling any sort of symptom in that list, I would have called my doctor immediately, because I'm not going to play with my health, and neither should you. So I hope this video has helped you, and thank you. Have a good day.